Now, not just NFL films though, Dave. Let's move into what you do from a coaching side and what you've done from the high school level here because I moved from Columbus, Ohio in March to Philadelphia. And the richness in history and the amount of talent that's come out of this area is it's quite surprising to me because Ohio was such a football factory. Columbus specifically is all football. Coming out here, there is just I mean, not just the Evans family, but we have our favorite Green Bay Packer draft pick lineman, John Runyon Jr. So you've had elbows rubbed with all these kind of things. Why don't you go into some high school stories that you've had?
So my interest in working with high school athletes and coaching kind of started with St. Joe's Prep. My nephew and Mike's grandson went to St. Joe's Prep and started playing football there. He was a guard, played a little bit his freshman year, but started the rest of his time there. And his line mate there was John Runyon Jr. was the tackle on that team and also played some defensive line snaps as well. And he was there 2 years with my nephew. They won a state championship both of those years. And his dad was a coach. So John Runyon, who I'd met a couple of times through the NFL, was also coaching at St. Joe's Prep, as was my brother-in-law and Mike's son, Pat, whose son was playing there, was coaching. I guess he was coaching tight ends and John Runyon was coaching offensive line. So there was a lot of pedigree there with that team between the players and the coaches. And, my nephew Jack was a really good player. They won 3 state championships while he was there. He went to Lehigh on a scholarship, played at Lehigh, just finishing up there now. But Runyon was a special guy. I mean, you could see the talent. I was on the sideline because of my nephew there, my brother-in-law, Gabe Infanti was the head coach, and he welcomed me to be on the sideline. I didn't coach, but I was at all the games, really got to see the players. And Runyon was a special guy. He was an athlete, could have played any position on both lines, could run. Just a very athletic, smart, humble guy. And I followed his career at Michigan. And, we've talked about it. He really didn't get to play for several years at Michigan. By the time he did, I think he was a fifth-year senior when he really started to play there. But I always felt like he could be a player in the NFL because of his work ethic, his smarts, his athleticism. He was one of the most athletic guys on the entire Michigan team when he was there. They have a contest they run beginning of each year in practice, and he would finish in the top 10. I mean, among all the players there in that kind of a decathlete type environment they had. And I just felt like he was going to be a good pick for somebody. I had hoped it would have been the Eagles, but as with a lot of other picks, they missed the boat on it. Now I think he's going to start his first game ever as a starter this week against the Philadelphia Eagles, and really looking forward to watching him play. But from my experience with St. Joe's Prep, I started to think, I might want to get involved with our local school, Strathaven, which is right up the road from where we live, and my wife teaches there now. Mm-hmm. And so I went and met with the head coach, Coach Clancy, who's the winningest head coach in Delaware County history and one of the greatest guys ever, and talked to him a little bit about their scouting system and their cameras and their all that, which they had very little of. And he invited me to kind of come in and be a coach and upgrade all that, which I did. I spent the first year upgrading their cameras, putting an end zone camera in, a sideline camera, brought a bunch of iPads in to do in-game scouting on the sideline, just like the.
Listen, that's nuts to put end zone cams in a high school game. Like that's taking scouting
and
to a new level.
During the game. We have 5 coaches with iPads. You can see every play, within seconds after they happen. Yeah. And then, I got involved in game planning and scouting, and I would give coach some ideas and thoughts every week. And from that, I started working with the offensive players. And eventually, after 2 years of that, mostly film scouting and technology, he invited me to come to all the practice to get involved with their offense. So I started coaching the skill position players and adding more to the game plans. And that's kind of where it evolved to. And it's been great. I have very little part of it, but we've been in the playoffs all 4 years. I've been there, and Strathaven hadn't made the playoffs for a few years. We have like 35 kids that play, football now. It's a very small school. Used to be a big school. You look it up,
Yeah.
and their history of the school is outstanding.
Hmm.
But and recently it's coming back, and I feel like
Yeah.
just to be a little part of that has been awesome. And the best part is working with the kids. The kids they're just great kids. They work hard. They love the game, and it's been a great experience. And I really thank Coach Clancy for giving me the experience and the opportunity to do that.